Okay, today we will discuss structural organization in animals. Now, the first topic is levels of organization. Here, you can see different levels in the development process. In the animals, we may see different organizations. That is, in like amoeba-like cells, we may see protoplasm. In amoeba-like cells, we may see protoplasm. So in the protoplasm, through the protoplasm, it can perform all kind of their functions. Their what are the required functions necessary in the body? Those functions are carried out through the protoplasm only, like in protozoans. So that is a protoplasmic level of organization. But when from the poriferans onwards, from poriferans to higher organisms like mammals, so if you see, the first one is cellular level of organization. Here the cell is the basic unit of organisms. This cell will performs functions of organisms. Okay, so for example, in poriferans, you may see poriferans. In the poriferans, there is no tissue formation. A group of cells will be aggregated, and the group of cells involved in the their body functions, like animal functions. Okay, so here the cells are involved in their functions, but in the next level, that is a tissue level. Here the tissue level of organization we may see. The tissue level of organization, number of cells will aggregate, and the number of cells, those are involved in the tissue formation. The number of cells will involve in the tissue formation. Okay, in this tissue formation, tissue formation takes place. How the tissue formation takes place? A group of cells that will combine and it will forms the tissue. Okay, and the next one is organ level of organization. How the organs are formed? A group of tissues, different tissues that will forms one organ. So that is the organ level of organization. And then organ system level of organization. Organ system level of organization means different organ systems are there. Different organ systems are formed in their body. For example, if you take in our body, digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, reproductive system, endocrine system, immune system, these are the different organ systems in our body. These organ systems finally that forms the organism. So here, this is the development process. In some organisms, only cell will perform all functions. In some organisms, only tissues will perform all the functions. In some organisms, organ will perform the functions. But in some organ systems will perform, but in some organisms, the entire organism will perform all the functions. So this is the levels of organization we may see in animal kingdom. Okay, here in the animals you may see digestive system. The digestive system is two types. One is incomplete digestive system, another one is complete digestive system. So what about incomplete digestive system? Incomplete digestive system means it's a common among invertebrates, and there is only a single opening for the ingestion of food. Okay, Here only a single opening. There is no dual openings are there, like mouth and anus. Only the mouth is present, anus is absent. Okay, and you may see complete digestive system. Here in the complete digestive system, mouth and also anus both are present. Okay, mouth and also anus. But in incomplete digestive system, only mouth is there, anus is absent. In complete digestive system, mouth and anus both are present. This complete digestive system, it starts from nematode onwards. So incomplete digestive system is there in platyhelminthes, but complete digestive system, it starts from nematodes onwards, and it in higher organisms, the complete digestive system is there. And next one, circulatory system. Circulatory system, it is a two types. One is a open circulatory system, another one is closed circulatory system. How these two are different? How these two are different? In the open circulatory system, there is no blood capillaries. There is no blood capillaries. Heart is there. Heart pumps the blood, and blood vessels are also present. These blood vessels, they send the blood to one empty space, one open space, or that we call as sinuses. That we call as sinuses. Sinuses means one space, one empty space that is filled with the blood. Okay, here heart pumps the blood. Blood is sending through the blood vessels, and it will send to one space or one what we call one empty area that we call as sinuses. So where the blood is reached to the sinuses, through the sinuses, at the sinuses area, it is a what we call, it is somewhat attachment with all the parts of the body, all the parts of the body. So at that sinuses area, it will send the nutrients, it will send the nutrients to the all parts of the body. Okay, this open type of circulation we may see in arthropods, like insects. In the insects, there is no respiratory pigment. There is no respiratory pigment, like hemoglobin is not present. Hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment. It is not present in the insects. Okay, but here oxygen transportation is not takes place through the blood. Only nutrients transportation takes place through the blood. That's why the blood is sent to the open space. Through the open space, the nutrients will reach to the all parts of the body. And for the oxygen supply or for the respiration, another separate system is there in the insects or in arthropods, that is called tracheal system. This tracheal system is there in the insects. This tracheal system, it performs the respiration in the insects. Okay, and here you may see closed circulatory system. So here, why it is open? Here some gap is there. This gap is called sinuses. Here the blood is supplied to the sinuses only. From the sinuses, it will supplied to the sinuses only, and then it will reach to the heart. Okay, it will reach to the all parts of the body. From all parts of the body to it will reach to the heart. But closed circulatory system, here it will be closed. It is absorbed in higher organisms like vertebrates. Okay, and what is happening here in the closed circulatory system? Heart is there, blood vessels are present, and here these are the blood capillaries. These blood capillaries, they are involving in connection. Okay, they are involving in connection. They will send the blood to tissues, and then tissues will utilize the oxygen, and also it will tissue will utilize the nutrients also, and from the tissues we will get the carbon dioxide, and then excretory products okay, these excretory products and also carbon dioxide that will enter into the blood, and from the that blood is passed to the heart again. So here it is a closed circulation. It's a మ్యూట్ చేసుకోవాలమ్మా. ఎవరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేసింది ఎవరు? ప్రియాంక, మ్యూట్ చేసుకోమని చెప్పట్లేదా నీకు? Next one, and here you may see diploblastic and triploblastic. What is diploblastic and what is triploblastic? So diploblastic means in the embryonic stage we may see two embryonic layers. Here you can see the two embryonic layers. Diplod, di means two, plastic means embryonic layers. Diploblastic means two embryonic layers are present in the embryonic stage. One is ectoderm, this is the called ectoderm, and inner one is called endoderm. Only two embryonic layers are present, and in between mesoglia is there. This is not the embryonic layer, that is called mesoglia in the diploblastic structure. But triploblastic means organisms are having three embryonic layers in the developmental stage. One is ectoderm, and inner one is endoderm, and middle one is called mesoderm. Ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. These are the three embryonic layers are present in the triploblastic condition. So here we may see the differences between the diploblastic and triploblastic. Animals develop from two germinal layers, that is called diploblastic, and here animal develop from three germinal layers. Outer is the ecto and inner is the endo, and here outer, middle and inner, ectoderm, mesoderm and inner endoderm are there. So here ectoderm, and the middle one is the mesoderm, and inner one is the endoderm. And diploblastic, the examples are coelenterate. Coelenterate are the examples for diploblastic, and triploblastic from arthropoda onwards. Arthropoda onwards, triploblastic organisms are there. Okay, this is the diploblastic and triploblastic condition. And next, symmetry. What is symmetry? Symmetry means if you cut any organism, if you cut any organism in the center of axis, if it gives two equal halves, that is called symmetry. If you cut the organism in any direction, for example, in this way, if you cut the organism, it will give two equal halves. Okay, this is called symmetric. And asymmetric means if you cut the organism, it will not give two equal halves. This is different one and this is different one. So these are not equal. That's why this is called asymmetric. Okay, and then in the symmetry you may see three types of symmetry. One is asymmetry, radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry. Asymmetry means if you cut the organism in any direction, it will not give two equal halves. If you cut the organism in any direction means from this direction, or from this direction, or from this direction, or from this direction. in any direction, it will not give two equal halves. That is asymmetry. And what about radial symmetry? If you cut the organism in any direction, it will give two equal halves. For example, this is the sea anemone. In the sea anemone, if you cut the organism in this direction or this direction, it will give two equal halves. That is called radial symmetry. And then bilateral symmetry. In the bilateral symmetry, if you cut the organism in only one direction, only, it will give two equal halves. Okay, that is called bilateral symmetry. Here, in any direction, it will give two equal halves, but in only one direction, it will give two equal halves. That is symmetry. In the symmetry, three type of categories are there. Asymmetry, there is no symmetry, and radial symmetry. In any direction, it will give two equal halves. In bilateral symmetry, in only one direction, it will give two equal halves. And then you can see here, this is called bilateral symmetry. You may see here bilateral symmetry. You may see here in fishes, like in only one direction, it will give two equal halves. Radial symmetry, in any direction, it will give two equal halves. In any direction, it will not give two equal halves. That is called no symmetry or asymmetry. Okay, and then coelom. Coelom is a special character in animals. Coelom means a body cavity. Body cavity means empty space which is present inside of the body of an animal, that is called coelom. So empty space which is present inside of the animal, that is called coelom. Here, based on the coelom, the organisms are categorized three types: acoelomate, eucoelomate, pseudocoelomate. Acoelomate means acoelom means A means absence of coelom. There is no coelom in the organisms. That category we call as acoelomate. So if you take flatworms, platyhelminthes related flatworms are there. These flatworms, these flatworms are triploblastic organisms. Okay, these triploblastic organisms, here there is no empty space. These are diastract, endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm. These are present only. There is no empty space which is in the inside of the body. That is called acoelomate or asymmetry. Acoelomic, not asymmetric. Acoelomic. So this is acoelomic. If you see, flatworms are suppressed, dorsoventrally suppressed organisms. Flatworms. The dorsoventrally suppressed organisms, there is no space inside of the body. Okay, so that's why acoelomates are not having a coelom, that is the absence of coelom. And next, eucoelomate. Eucoelom, U means true coelom. True coelom, why we call true coelom here? Here three embryonic layers are there, and coelom is formed from the mesoderm. Coelom is formed from the mesoderm. This is the empty space. This is the coelom which is present inside of the body, and which is formed from the mesoderm. That's why it is called eucoelom. Eucoelomates, generally they are annelids, molluscans, arthropods, and echinoderms and chordates. And from annelid phylum onwards, all the higher organisms, they are having eucoelom. Okay, and in what is about true coelom? Fake coelom. That is called pseudocoelom. Pseudocoelom means fake coelom. This we may see in nematoda, like roundworms. The roundworms, those are nematodes. In this, coelom is there, but it is not a true coelom. It is a fake coelom. Why we call fake coelom? This coelom is formed from not formed from the coelom is not formed from the mesoderm. Okay, mesoderm నుంచి ఫామ్ అవ్వలేదు కాబట్టి దీన్ని మనం సూడోసిలోమ్ అంటాం. సో pseudocoelom, it is not formed from the mesoderm, that's why it is a pseudocoelom. And you may see here the embryonic layers. This is the ectoderm, and inside of the one is the endoderm, and middle one is called mesoderm. So through the mesoderm only it forms the coelom. Okay, so the mesoderm it forms the coelom. So these are the three embryonic layers we may see in the animals. Okay, and here advantage of coelom over pseudocoelom. This is the 4 marks question. You have to understand very much carefully. Coelom is very much advanced over pseudocoelom. Why? It's here the coelom's advantage over pseudocoelom is that it allows the digestive tract and digestive system to become more complex. Here in the coelom, regional specialization is there. What is regional specialization? Regional specialization means in the digestive system. In the digestive system, it consists different parts like mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus. So like that different regions are there in the gut. This we call as regional specialization. So different regions, they are formed in the gut, that we call as regional specialization. This regional specialization, this is only in a coelomic organisms. So from the Annelida onwards, this coelom formation takes place. That's why here the coelom is a very much advantage over pseudocoelom, and also it is having regional specialization. And next, gametes are released into the coelom in invertebrates. So generally invertebrates, they are producing their gametes. These gametes are released into the coelom. So it's an empty cavity, so gametes are released into coelom. That's why it involved in the reproduction of organisms. Okay, gametes are involved in the reproduction of animals. And next, coelomic fluid. Coelomic fluid acts as a hydrostatic skeleton and assists the coelomic fluid. Sorry. And assists the body process. Coelomic fluid acts as hydrostatic skeleton and assists the body process. And it is a body cavity inside the mesoderm, and while pseudocoelom is a cavity between mesoderm and endoderm that borders the internal organs. So coelom is formed in the mesoderm, but pseudocoelom, it is formed in between the mesoderm and endoderm. So these are the advantages of coelom over pseudocoelom. And here you may see kingdom, organization, kingdom, levels of organization, symmetry, body cavity or coelom, and phyla. This we will discuss here. The kingdom Animalia. The kingdom Animalia, it consists of all the animals, multicellular animals. This kingdom Animalia classified into levels of organization. That is cellular level and tissue level or organ level or organ system level, whatever cellular level of organization. That is the cellular level of our organization, only one phylum is there, that is a Porifera. One phylum is there, that is a Porifera. In the Poriferans, there is no symmetry, there is no body cavity. Okay? And then in the tissue level of organization or organ level or organ system level, whatever, here radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. Radial symmetry, here it this radial symmetry, it is not having coelom. Okay, coelom. And here radial symmetry consisting organisms are only two phyla. One is a Coelenterata and a Ctenophora. Coelenterata and also Ctenophora. These two are radial symmetric organisms. And then third one, bilateral symmetry. The bilateral symmetry, again three types are there based on coelom. Without body cavity, that is called acoelomates. False body cavity, that is called pseudocoelomates. And true body cavity, that is called eucoelomates. A true body cavity, that is called eucoelomates. So here in the cellular level, we already discussed poriferans are there. In the radial level, Coelenterata and Ctenophora, these two are present. Okay, Coelenterata and Ctenophora, these two are present in the radial symmetry. And in the coelom, it is having three different categories. One is body cavity, without body cavity, and fake body cavity or the fake pseudocoelom. And then this acoelomates, that is in Platyhelminthes, I already told, flatworms. The false coelom, that is in Aschelminthes, that is called Nematoda or Nematihelminthes. Okay? And true coelom, you may see true coelom, that is called eucoelom. True coelom or eucoelom. In this Annelida, phylum Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata. These are the phyla are belong to true coelom. Most of the phyla, they are major phyla, they are true coelomates. And you can see here at the last, Echinodermata exhibits the radial or bilateral symmetry depending on the stage. For example, in the adult stage, it exhibits the pentaradial symmetry, but in larval stage, it exhibits the bilateral symmetry. So pentaradial symmetry in adult stage, in a larval stage, it exhibits the bilateral symmetry. The broad classification of kingdom Animalia based on common fundamental features. So this is about the